Really glad to see everyone here. Thankful that the weather is so nice. I know you're all here to help, and I'm really thankful for everyone to be here to help us recognize the honorees that we're going to be introducing tonight. But before we get too far with that, we do want to take a moment to think about our history and the fact that this campus, as many of you know better than I do, came together out of a merger of Flora McDonald College and Presbyterian Junior College, and to recognize sort of the first among all of us as alumni. Is there anyone with us here tonight, Roy, who has attended Presbyterian Junior College or Flora McDonald? Could you please rise if you're able? I know you're able, and be recognized. Our story is one of growth and merger and evolution and change, because that's the story of time, and that's how you stay alive. And speaking of that, I would like to introduce our campus president, Dr. Tarun Malik.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me? Welcome back. It's been a day of a lot of fun. It's been a day of conviviality, and it's been a day of celebrations, and it's just been an action-packed day. As this whole year, I remember talking to you about a year ago. We were over at the golf club. I didn't know anybody, you didn't know me, but the story a year later is a little different than a story about a year ago. As I've said, we're in much better position than we were a year ago. Okay, so there's a little bit of red still left on the books, but if we continue the way we are headed, that red will soon become black. We should put out. And the reason for that is very simple. We've been very deliberate, we've been very thoughtful, we've been very intentional in the way we've gone about running this place. And yes, we've had to make some hard decisions, but the one thing we have not compromised on is the students, their education, their experience. So, just going to emphasize one or two things because there are a couple of misconceptions floating around, and I had a rather testy conversation with a fellow alum a little earlier in the day. The general misconception is that yes, you've lowered academic standards, and B, because they're all athletes, you're retaining more of them. That is not true. It is more challenging to educate athletes because their priority is the field and not the classroom. And no, we have not lowered academic standards. In fact, the instructions to the faculty members is hold the bar, because we're responsible for the quality of the kids we graduate. So, so please, by all means, when you get the opportunity, just go ahead and continue to spread the word, which kind of gets me to the other area of emphasis. Gary, Wally, and others have done a fabulous job dressing up this place. Yeah. And it is no secret that now that we are a little more bullish and confident about the future, we can actually stick our necks out and try and say, we need some help. And the help we need is to bring this place back to its glory, just to make sure that the students, the kids who are here today, tomorrow, and day after, have a similar or better or equal experience to the one you had. So just to put things in perspective for you, you've seen the work they do. These are temporary trailers. The word temporary should be temporary. They've been here longer than they should have been. But we still produce 3 meals a day. The kids get fed. And yes, we managed a transition in mid-semester. You met the new crew who's here, right? Held up to standard. So if the kids are going to eat here, they need a place. They need food which is nourishing. They need to have an experience where they can share, break bread with each other, and have a place to congregate. Because I'm not sure whether you noticed this or not, there are a lot of carrier bags in this place. The food goes back into the rooms, and the meals are going back into the rooms. You're not sharing this meal with anybody. You're eating in splendid isolation. And that doesn't do much for their development. That doesn't do much for building or even developing a community. So this space is all about bringing back the glorious past in whatever shape or form to transform us into what this place will be. And we are very confident about tomorrow. So we're not asking for much. $5 million is nothing in this day and age where universities are going on for $1 billion or $20 billion campaign. It's a very modest amount of money. Please help us. Please. It's for a very worthy cause. And I know you love this place dearly. I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your commitment. Just help us spread the word. Let's galvanize fellow alum, just as we have done, galvanizing the community and got them to rally behind us. Like I told you, everything has been very intentional, very deliberate. We think about what we do. So I'd like to, I've been given a little bit of time, but I'm going to give up my time. Dr. Nelson Marquez is here. He's president and CEO of Weber. Weber is the parent company. And since he's here, it only behooves us to give him the opportunity to share his thoughts on how he sees the relationship between, or what he envisions to be a productive relationship between Weber and St. Andrews. And I will tell you this, he's been very cooperative. His mindset is very different. It is not one of control. It is about giving us the autonomy to do what is best for this institution. And I don't think we can ask for anything more than that. So before I turn it over to Dr. Marquez, all right, Gary, thank you. Thank you for your leadership.
Yes.
You weathered many storms. You handled a lot of criticism, all undeserving. But you have the courage of your convictions, and we are very grateful to you for what you have done, for your leadership, for your wisdom, and mostly for your passion for this institution. It is your unwavering commitment which is inspiring for all of us. Right? Welcome. I know this is going to be more formal ceremony of handover and hugging and kissing, but since I do have the mic, yeah, great. So without further ado, Dr. Nelson Marquez.
Thank you, Dr. T. That's how I call him. When I would talk to him, I would say, Dr. T, I need to talk to you about something, or Dr. T, how are things going? Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to stand here before you. So where Dr. Malik was last year, the stranger, I am that person for all of you today. But you know what? After several minutes, I don't really feel like I'm a stranger to all of you. And here are some reasons why. Number one, when I started working for what I call now the university, with a capital U, combined Weber and St. Andrews, that's how I address it. And that's how I write things down for SAS. When I say the university, I mean both. So because I see similarities, differences, but the differences are good differences, because we can leverage those differences in order to strengthen both. And I will explain in just a second how I see those things happening. But since this is an alumni weekend, and from what I have seen when I was walking around campus yesterday and today, it's a lot of reminiscing, nostalgia stuff that are being kind of like revived and to revitalize the connections. Well, let me share with you my experiences at St. Andrews when I first started working for the university way back in 2015. Two pieces and two things. One, I walked the campus on a weekend. I started July the 1st. By about July 4 or 5, I traveled to St. Andrews on a weekend, and I said to Dr. Wade at that time, I need to see the campus so I can write things for SACS. And there's no way I can write things if I don't feel the campus. And he said, but you can be by yourself there on a weekend. It doesn't matter. That is the best time. And actually, that was the best time because there was something magical about this place that I felt. There was some history that I don't know anything about, but I felt like I need to discover what they were. So the first place I saw was the bell tower. You don't see that anymore, but I'm telling you that I took so many selfie pictures. And that was a moment, this was one of those moments that I felt so holy-ish, Dr. Berhe, because there was a crow on top of that cross thingy. And I took a selfie picture. I'm like, okay, what does this mean? But you know what? I'll take it, whatever it meant, because it is something that is supposed to be good. Then I walked around campus and I saw the wall. And I wrote my note down. And I started meeting with Dr. Edna Ann and all the other administrators at that time. I said, you know what? So we can prepare for SACS-COC. One of the first things we need to do is to clean up and paint the wall. And they looked at me like, I did not know. I did not know. And I said, what is that wall doing in there? That's SACS will walk by and they will see all this kinds of stuff. And I said, Nelson, that is the expression wall. I'm like, express, and I knew I was. So I said, fine, I can explain to SACS-COC what that meant and how it connects to learning outcomes. And that was the magic of it all, that I had to write for SACS-COC. And now moving forward, as you all know, we had gotten full reaccreditation from SACS-COC with no recommendations at that time. And we're preparing again for the next 2 years because I'll be coming back to campus in 2026. But no fear from my end because we've done things right every single step of the way from that time to wherever we are today. And all we need to do is to document the good stuff that we are doing because that's something that we don't do much of anything about. We just go about with our normal lives on a daily basis and we forget to write things. But you know what? I have good leadership. Dr. T is my partner, and when I became the president CEO for the university, I told him, Dr. Malik can attest to this, I would want you to be the president that you are supposed to be for St. Andrews and that campus. I am only asking for one thing, keep the campus safe, the students, faculty, and staff, and I will be supportive of every piece and every step that we need to do to get that campus and university back to where it belongs. This campus is thank you. This campus is a very storied campus in the state of North Carolina, and I knew that when I first took over the role of Vice President for Institutional Effectiveness. And we just need to find a way to get us back to that same level, if not better, in the next couple of years. Now, for my last piece here, as I was saying when I was walking tables and introducing myself, one of the things that I've missed, because I'm from the Philippines and I never had the opportunity, or still today, have the opportunity to have an alumni event like this. So this morning, when I was trying to come in and sneak in, you have to register. I introduced myself as Nelson and I said I graduated from 1986 with my interdisciplinary studies degree. And they looked at me like, no. Because probably the program never existed at that time. But because for me, especially when you are a foreigner coming to this country, what you always look for is to be able to belong and assimilate. And I will tell you that the first day that I set my foot here in this campus, I felt like I belonged. And that I am able to assimilate because there is something about this place that is different, that makes you feel like even without asking, yes, you belong. And I really appreciate all of you for allowing me to belong. Because this is my second home. Coming from the Philippines, my first home, I have been living in Florida for a long, long time, but I always feel like I'm there, but I really do not belong. I just exist. But whenever I come here, I feel like I belong. And I really appreciate all of you, and please, thank you. Like what Dr. Malik said, he's asking for one thing, and I'm asking for the same thing. And I don't think it's very difficult to give. help. That's all. Thank you and have a good rest of this event and evening. I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Past a little over 10 years or so, Heather and I have been super active on campus. It's like going to school again. And it's been crazy to me that we're on campus a lot. Every time I'm here, Nelson is here. He's supposed to be from Florida. I don't think he goes back home. I don't know. Thank you. And thank you for just being here and being so involved, helping, and letting us be us. So let's get some awards started. Kick us off. I'd like to call up where is it? Dr. Kelly Finklin. I'm super grateful that she was able to come and help us do this recognition. High time. This is one of the most popular recognitions in terms of the nominations that we see come through. I know it means a lot when people are able to get this particular recognition, and I think this one it's high time. And so I'm really grateful that you're able to come, and so please help us present this.
So I had to write mine down or else I'd cry through the whole thing. So, it is an honor to speak on behalf of all St. Andrews Presbyterian volleyball Coots, because we were called the Coots. Those of you that know those little black ducks that used to live on the lake, right? So Coach called us the Coots. So it's an honor, again, to speak on behalf of all St. Andrews Presbyterian volleyball Coots as we induct Coach JoAnn Williams into the Athletic Hall of Fame tonight. My name is Kelly Finklin, and I graduated in 1985. I was blessed to play volleyball for 4 years, tennis for 1 year. I just needed one more season with Coach. So I played tennis my senior year. And I coached volleyball with her the following 3 years after that. Coach JoAnn Williams was an associate professor here at UNCP from 1966 to 1989. She received her bachelor's degree from High Point College and her master's degree from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. We still forgive her for that, right? Just kidding. So Coach sadly passed away in December of 1988 after a heroic battle with cancer. But her legacy is still felt here at the school today. Coach was at St. Andrews for 22 years, and she introduced volleyball to St. Andrews back in 1972. Coach loved her girls like we were her own. She gave everything she had to ensure we bonded as a family. One of our players, Angie McCabe, joined our St. Andrews family in 1988. She shared that she was being recruited by several colleges for volleyball and softball and had visited some campuses, but chose St. Andrews strictly off the vibes that she got from phone conversations with JoAnn Williams. Angie said that Coach seemed to be recruiting her into a family more than just a volleyball team. Angie decided to come to Laurinburg without ever visiting the campus because she believed wholeheartedly in an atmosphere Coach promoted. Being part of a team was being part of a group where everyone lifted each other up and looked out for each other. Angie believed that her experience would be more than just an athletic or academic adventure. It would be a whole journey of developing into a successful individual. Coach was your mom away from home. And she knew everything, and I mean everything. Even the things you may not want her to know, she knew. She would often ask questions like, why did I see, and I won't say anybody's names, walking across the campus from the boys' dorm this morning at 7 o'clock? Or she would say, I understood that there was a party last night and some of you girls were there. So today we're going to have an extra hard practice, and some girls might end up throwing up after the fact because of that. She cared about us, and she wanted to keep us healthy and safe. She would even walk to our dorm room and check on us when we were sick, or meet us in the training room every single time we were supposed to be there. Libby Flowery, class of 77, wanted to share that Kay Yao told her that JoAnn Williams was the best coach that she had ever met. Kristen Mosier, class of 92, said she remembers Coach living as though it was always a great day to be alive in Coach's eyes. Coach made sure we understood the importance of stopping to smell the roses in every single thing we did. We would be in practice and she would yell, "Girls, quick, get out in the hallway," just like that. And we would go out there and look outside the window, and there would be this gorgeous sunset over this building right here. And all of you guys probably have experienced those beautiful sunsets in the fall. She would always say, "It's always time to stop and smell the roses. Take the time." Another time we were playing a tournament in Coastal Carolina, and she woke us all up around 5 o'clock in the morning and made us meet her on the beach ASAP. She didn't want us to miss the sunset. Coach not only loved to share nature with us, but she also loved to laugh and act silly. One of her favorite sayings was, "It's not over until the fat lady sings." And especially when we were on the road and we would be in the locker room after we won a match, and she would start cackling so loud that people would poke their head in to find out what was going on. But she absolutely loved to have fun. Every time we drove by south of the border, we had to drive circles through Pedro's legs with Coach cackling out loud. By the time she finished, and I mean, we might go 4, 5, 6 times round and round through Pedro's legs. You guys know what we're talking about if you've ever been to south of the border. By the time she finished, the entire band was in hysterics. She loved making memories with her girls. Coach was very competitive. There was a time to work and a time to play, and we worked very hard in practice. Every other day, we alternated doing 3 sets of 10 or running a mile and a half in less than 12 minutes. She had circuit training and weightlifting requirements even before they were popular to sports. We were in shape and we played hard. She loved to challenge the team at the end of practice. Sometimes we would have to get 24 serves in a row before we could leave for dinner. Sometimes we missed dinner. Other times we had to pass 24 balls in a row into what Coach called the fish tank. She would get so exciting holding this fish net over the net where the setter would stand, and we had to pass the ball through the net at least 24 times again to get to dinner. Coach always cheered us on from the sidelines. I spent 7 years with Coach, and I don't ever remember her yelling at us in a disciplinary fashion one time. She used gentleness and conversations. In 1986, the Lady Cougs traveled to Colorado to play in the NCAA Division III women's volleyball tournament. That was her first experience, and I was lucky enough to be her assistant coach. In 1987, she earned the Coach of the Year award. Coach also gave back to the community. She started the JoAnn Williams Summer Day Camp for the community. One of her main goals was to ensure everyone would learn to be comfortable in the water and to swim safely if needed. Hundreds of children attempted the camp every summer. When Coach got sick again in 1988, she was determined to stay a visible part of our team. She planned her chemotherapy treatments around our home games. She did not miss a game, even though she was often so weak she could not even get up on the bleachers to sit down. She was committed to the family of St. Andrew's Presbyterian College. She was my second mom and a best friend when we began coaching together. She is missed greatly and will always have a place in the hearts of those who knew her. Congratulations, Coach, for being inducted into the St. Andrew's Hall of Fame.
So this is her niece. The video came in yesterday, and unfortunately, we're not really set up for videos very well. We're gonna see if we can get the audio to play for you.
So Jenny Taylor was Coach's niece and the closest thing to a real daughter that she ever had.
And I got 0 audio. What's this, an iPhone? Holy smokes. All right. Gotcha. An Android.
Hi, my name is Jenny Dean Taylor, and I am JoAnn Williams' niece, and we're very honored that you guys are inducting her into St. Andrew's Athletic Hall of Fame. She loved St. Andrew's College, and she loved athletics, and she loved all the teams. She really did devoted herself to developing members of her teams into great individuals and caring about them and showing leadership. And St. Andrews was her heart. She really believed in the college, the athletics, and she also believed in the community. So we're honored that you're doing this. I'm sorry we could not be there. We're actually out of the country, but she has been a mentor to so many people, and especially to me. I'm her niece. I spent summers with her as she developed the St. Andrews Day Camp. 4 weeks every summer. She wanted to give the community students and children the opportunity to learn how to swim, ball, play golf, tennis, and archery. She really and truly cared about the community also. And for all the team members that know her, you know that she really did care and love you. And for me, she was a mentor for me. I graduated in 1981 from St. Andrews with adaptive PE, got my master's at the University of Tennessee in exercise physiology. Then I went to Florida State University, became the head trainer, athletic trainer there, and I could not have done that without JoAnn Williams' help and guidance. And then I traveled 10 years for the United States track and field team. So make no mistake, she has made an impact into my life and many people's lives. So thank you for the honor of inducting her. And she really, truly was a mentor for a lot of people. Thank you.
Is there anyone here, I know there's at least one, who's coached by her? Could you please come up? Everyone who's been coached by her. We have St. Andrews made a plaque, so we're going to present it to you to get together, and we're going to make sure that her niece gets this plaque to keep. But Rooney right there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next award is another one that I'm personally very excited about because it's the whole category of the award is one of those things like everything's overdue, everything happens in its good time. Equestrianism has been such a huge part of this campus and the culture of St. Andrews and just the campus life. And it was St. Andrews Alumni Council and the nominations task force decided that we really needed to have a Hall of Fame for that. And so tonight we get to see the second person ever to be inducted into the Equestrian Hall of Fame. And I'm also extremely grateful that Shelby French is joining us again tonight to help introduce our next honoree.
It's my great honor and pleasure to see Karen Singletary inducted into the Equestrian Athletic Hall of Fame. She graduated in 1990 and she transferred here. And one of her really good friends, Susan Deal, who couldn't be here tonight, wanted me to tell Karen how sorry she was she couldn't be here to honor her. But I remember when Karen came, I was terrified. I was the coach, but Karen came to St. Andrews with a record as the national champion as a junior rider. So she was probably the most talented and experienced rider to ever walk through the doors of our barn. And certainly was one of the most challenging students I ever taught because she made me get better. And she made the whole program get better because of her talent and her ability with the horses, and she challenged the other students as well. She won the national championship for the American National Riding Championship in both 89 and 90, which is sort of the first time St. Andrews got to be on the map nationally as a force in the equestrian world. And her partner in that was a horse named Midnight Derby. And it's a three-phase competition, and I won't bore you with the details of it, but there's a very talented horse And Karen had a lot of courage and a lot of finesse and a lot of style. And I say courage and also probably strength as well, because the first phase is on the flat, but the second phase is over a cross-country course. And somehow or another, this horse thought that the word derby, which was in her name, meant run for the roses. And it was quite an event to see Karen make that horse look like she was calm, and I can't even imagine how her arms felt at the end of it. But it was a huge honor for the school, and it put us on the map, and it helped us recruit more and more students. And then she gave us some of her best horses. And I think most importantly, because she has a passion for riding and she has a passion for horses, and she wanted to share that passion. She was so important to us because she went home and was an advocate for us with her family foundation. And if it wasn't for the Singletary Foundation, we wouldn't have the great riding center we have now. We wouldn't have the therapeutic riding program, because they really supported us and got it off the ground. So that passion and that love, she wanted to share it with everybody, because she knows what horses mean in people's lives and how they can be transformative. So Karen was transformative for the college in multiple ways, and I think it's really great that she's being honored tonight for that. Come on.
I just want to say thank you all for this special nomination, and my time at St. Andrews was pretty amazing. I was grateful that the school was here. I was grateful for Susan Yeamandeel for suggesting that I come here and join her. It's really an interesting story because, when you're in high school, you go take all this testing to try to figure out what you want to do or where your strengths are. And amazingly enough, I did all that testing, and the suggestion was that I come to St. Andrews at the beginning. But being a horse girl, I was desperate to go to Virginia, so I had to go to school in Virginia for a little while, and then I came to St. Andrews. But sort of life comes full circle, right? But anyway, I am grateful for the experience that I had at St. Andrews, and even after I helped St. Andrews with their therapeutic riding program, I also started a therapeutic riding program in my hometown, and 24 years later, it is still going strong, and we have 3,000 lessons a year of over 100 kids a week. So so it's gotten really huge. But anyway, I just want to say thank you for this amazing award, and thank St. Andrews for all that they did for me. Thank y'all.
Martin Brossman, everyone, would you please come up and take the podium?
I'm excited to honor Dr. Dotson that's here. And let's just start with that. I actually, my dream was to be a physicist. And because I wanted to understand the fabric of reality. And after taking calculus the third time, I decided maybe not. But Dotson's one of those people that gave me permission to love physics and not be able to master the mathematics. And one of the cornerstone courses he taught was the Dancing Woolly Masters over winter term. And it was so exciting because if you asked him any question of physics, he'd find a way to tie it to your world and lead you into it, which gave me that permission where today, really as a coach and inspirer of people and small business, I'm still a scientist at heart. And it's people like Allen Dotson, Dr. Dotson, that helped inspire me on it. But the thing about Allen is that I didn't learn till after St. Andrews his profound connection to his faith. And that's what I want to talk about next, because he's a man who lives his faith. Because once I got his passion for his faith and his own Christianity, I looked back and could see it through every action he did to live his faith through teaching, through leading, through inspiring, through science, through physics. And I do recommend you buy his book on Amazon. Second printing's coming out. Look at that. He's still going. Okay? And I have actually wanted to bring one, but I loaned all the copies out that I had at my house to friends. The key about Allen Dotson is that his door was always open, and he was open to any conversation you wanted to have, be it philosophy, be it science, be it physics. And this was such an important aspect of St. Andrews because the whole place inspired that merge of science and creativity. And so did the STEM programs and everything else. I do have to tell you, Dotson, when I learned about entropy, I was depressed because I barely can keep my room clean already. Whatever happens, I'm doomed. But I did get over that. It's these people like this that touch our lives, and also people like Allen Dotson set the ground for future professors like you've come on and others, where that foundation exists, where we really have great shoulders that new people can stand on. And I'm so honored to acknowledge this, and thank you. And again, read his book on Amazon, right? Second print. Well, how many people interacted with Dotson directly or indirectly? Look around the room. Those are little stones that ripple from your life into other lives. And I really want you to see that. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wonderful. Oh, wonderful. Oh, my goodness. Come on over. Oh, that's great.
Thank you, Martin. That was marvelous. And I want to express my appreciation for this award. It was really a big surprise because back then, many years ago now, I was given this beautiful watch that I carry all the time in commemoration of 30 years of service. I figured, well, they figure now maybe in a year or two I'll retire. But I didn't. I hope they weren't too disappointed about that. But anyway, I really had a great time at St. Andrews, and it was a privilege to serve in many ways. The whole episode there was good, and I enjoyed teaching my subject, but also I enjoyed working with the fellow teachers and the other folks there in various jobs in trying to, on committees, in trying to make St. Andrews a better place. And I think I've just admired every time I went to those meetings. I admired the insights that those people had. I was really impressed by my fellow workers at St. Andrews. Turns out I went on to teach 5 more years. And by that time, physics and all the other natural sciences, they used mathematics, had a problem in terms, maybe not a problem for some people, but they had to deal with the fact that the youngsters these days have these things called smartphones. And this smartphones are supposed to be smart enough to let the person using them not have to do any math.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they always say that everything breaks. And also, you can just forget to carry your smartphone sometime and need to make one of those calculations, and then you're up the creek. So I'm thinking that probably the better of my students that on those last few years did learn how to do the calculations by hand, because that's the real way to learn something.
Well, we're honored to give you the St. Andrews 2024 Distinguished Merit Award presented to Dr. Allen Dotson. So let's get it.
Great.
Go. Yeah. Great.
So, really the one of the highest awards that St. Andrews Alumni Council can give is our Distinguished Alumni Award. And you can see from our program that the nominations task force chose the very deserving Dr. Jackie Stevens, class of '88. Unfortunately, she's not able to join us. Spoke with her, and she has a speaking engagement because she's very important and very busy. But this part of the program always kind of makes me proud, and I'm grateful that Dr. Letizia has agreed to just sort of let us know what the nominations task force was looking at when they chose this person, so that we can be proud of her as a group with her, and then we'll make sure that she gets her plaque. Dr. Letizia, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. So it's my honor to award the Distinguished Alumni Award to Dr. Jacquelin Stevens. Dr. Jacquelin Stevens is a graduate of St. Andrews who went on to get her PhD at East Carolina University School of Medicine. And she's currently the Claude B. Pennington Jr. Endowed Chair in Biomedical Research in the Pennington Biomedical Center at Louisiana State University. Her current research is in adipocytes, which are highly specialized cells in the body, which are very important in the storage of energy and also the regulation of energy in all vertebrate organisms. These cells are sensitive to insulin, and they also secrete other hormones. So they're very important in our understanding of obesity, diabetes, and other cardiovascular disease. Specifically, her work is focused on a family of genetic transcription factors in adipocytes which affect the function of adipocytes. And she's also involved in research that are looking at different botanicals in order to identify components that could help develop medications for diseases that involve adipocytes like diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular disease in the future. So this is really cutting edge stuff and very exciting research. So when she graduated before I was here, and I have not had a chance to meet her, but when I was looking over her work and preparing for this, she actually gave a TED Talk in 2015 at LSU. And it was a very passionate talk that was discussing the importance of basic benchtop research and science and how important that is in our understanding. Because when we understand the world that we live in, we can then use those insights to understand our bodies and how they work and make the world a better place. And so when she was talking in her TED Talk, Dr. Stevens compared her work to that of building cathedrals. And I thought it was such a lovely analogy. She said that when she looked back at the centuries of scientists before her, as each one gained insights and discoveries, they were putting down bricks and building this beautiful cathedral of understanding that we have now. That research that's done builds upon itself year over year, decade over decade, century over century. And all of these discoveries then lead to our understanding, which help us make the world a better place. And so while sometimes the research in benchtop is really agonizingly slow and definitely underpaid and underappreciated, it is such noble work that she's doing. And we are so honored to call Dr. Stevens one of our own. I'm stealing a phrase from Martin when he said at Science Homecoming that this is sacred ground. And I think all of the speakers today have really reflected how sacred this space here at St. Andrews is for all of us. And I thought how fitting that someone that went to school at St. Andrews on this sacred ground is now carrying out her work in building cathedrals for all of us. So let's thank Dr. Stevens very much, and so glad that she's one of our alums.
So I hope you understand why I didn't read that myself, and I asked the MD that from in our little group to come explain what she's up to, because I couldn't pronounce half those words. So I had a great opportunity to correspond with Hayley, Ladell, who's also being inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame, and yeah, they were sort of just outstanding on campus. Her and her sister with their performance in soccer, and it was funny that as I'm trying to get her to come to the awards banquet tonight, they already were scheduled to be on a cruise with her sister. So some things never change. But she did send this note, and she asked that we read this to you guys. She said, "My 4 years at SA were the best. I learned about life and grew as a person. Because of the small community, it felt like going to summer camp for 4 years. I would have been lost in a big school, but here at SA, it was family. The majority of the team my freshman year were fellow Floridians who just a couple of years earlier were all my high school enemies. Today, I can call them some of my closest friends that I still see regularly. I look forward to seeing great things, just for you guys, coming from SA players." And I believe that is it for our awards. Okay, so we have something in the works. Been in the works for 3 years, and I'm going to take a little credit that I put Martin in charge of this. Yeah, because Martin is a dog with a bone. This
Yep.
will happen. This will happen. And so,
Yeah. So I'll just mention real clearly, we're gonna have a Rooney Coffman picture book. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that, baby. Go and get a picture of them. And he was always concerned about everybody else. I said, Rooney, this needs to be your book of visual poetry of this sacred space. And that's what it's going to be. So we're excited. And this guy put a lot of time in it too. So, so anyway, that's what I want to say. It'll be coming out this fall. We'll communicate on pre-orders. We'll have some special editions and so forth. So just watch out for alumni stuff. Well, we're excited to make it happen. 100 pages. A nice picture on each page.
go. I have one more thing that I can remember. I'm not forgetting anything, am I? All right. So, all right, good. Huh? No. Kiss Greg. That's what I. That's next.
I'm gone.
That's it. So, being on St. Andrews Alumni Council is theoretically a 3-year term, although it's more like the Hotel California. You do not get to leave. And that's been a little bit of my experience being chair of St. Andrews Alumni Council. We've extended out my term to make sure there is some continuity. And it's a privilege, it's an honor, and it's a ton of work. And so my there are 2 people seated to my left who are already my friends, and now that they are relieving me of my duties, they are my very, very good friends. Yeah. So Greg Stupinski was unanimously recommended by Alumni Council to take over as the chair, and the college has accepted him as chair of St. Angelo Alumni Council. Wally Mann is stepping up to be vice chair. Would you please come up here? Now, everyone else gets a trophy for their honor. Greg gets a mailbag for all the work he's going to have to carry. There. I got a blue mailbag, and Heather had it engraved, the St. Andrews Alumni Council logo and the motto, cherish, protect, support. So thank you, Greg. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Here comes a sneaky man.
Okay, we're not going to let him get away that quickly. Congratulations, Greg, Wally. We thank you guys for your service. We're looking forward to the years ahead. I really want to thank Gary, because we did ask Gary to serve an additional year. And that's one of the things, as you know, with Dr. Malley coming on last year, I'll take the heat for it. I extended him, right? I haven't gotten any grief from anyone about it, but I'm extremely thankful because this guy does a load of work. And you guys see it. Some of you see a lot of it. Some of you see none of it. But again, on behalf of the university, we'd like for you to open just a small token of our appreciation. Now, you've been through a lot over the last few years. Just want to kind of explain this gift. You need to open it all the way. All right. Now, as you open this, Gary, I want you to remember, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
It won't explode.
It's been
right away.
It's been a long time. A long time.
Good.
Some people would say it's been, as my friend Charles Dickens said, Dr. Loftus, it's been the best of times. It's been the worst of times. And actually, it's up to you to decide if this has been the best of times or the worst of times. Always remember us. Thank you for your service.
All right.
I'm gonna just pass on the rest of this. As everyone knows, we have an alum that's here with us.
Yes.
Hopefully everybody saw Kaylin.
Yes.
I remember Kaylin Garner.
Yes.
Kaylin's back in town. He and his band performed downtown at the Suds and Swine. We've gotten rave reviews. Kaylin has agreed to play a set for us tonight. We've invited the students here, so this is going to be the time. If you're up for a little early bedtime, you might want to leave now, but I would encourage you, don't leave until you get a chance to hear these guys. We'll give them a few minutes to get set up. Please spend some time in conversation, but stick around and listen to Kaylin for a while. And then, yes, there is going to be a Foam Daddy bubble machine that's going to be broken out here by the students sometime around 8 or 9 o'clock, so you may want to get out of here before then. But anyway, they'll be partying down here as well. So please, thank you all. Have a great evening.